Good morning. This is Teresa Foley again with Dark Thoughts of Hope. I would like to thank the two people that downloaded my podcast. I have a feeling they might have been friends of mine. I appreciate it a lot. So today I'm going to continue reading a little bit more from my book. This is from chapter 1, and I hope you guys enjoy it. A Better Way. Decided to take my life today. Bought a shotgun and some shells. Penned a note declaring I was unhappy in this world. It saddened me how no one cared. Got up from the bed and ate my breakfast. Kissed my mother and siblings goodbye. Gave my father one last hug. Made sure my family knew I loved them before I left for work. Chapter 1. Lying awake in bed all night, I cry myself to sleep. Life doesn't make me happy anymore. These days, I cannot catch a break. Over the past few months, I've lost my will to live. What is the point? My job no longer makes me happy. The guy I hoped to spend the rest of my life with found out that he had been unfaithful and a liar. We parted ways, and I have been in a depressive downward spiral ever since. It used to be easy to cheer myself up. There was a time, whenever I felt down, I'd turn the radio on and sing along to my heart's content. Long walks, hikes in the woods, finding a good book to settle down with and read, painting or drawing are all activities that once brightened up my darkest of days. Now, no matter what I do, malicious and dismal reflections seem to penetrate my mind. At first, it was easy to dismiss the negative notions to harm myself. Whenever such ideas would enter my head, I would ignore or laugh them away. Over the last 6 months, this has steadily become challenging, if not impossible to do. I have tried anything that I could think of to ward off such invasive musings. It is my fear that my family and friends will never understand how exhausting it's been to maintain my happy facade. How am I supposed to pretend I'm all right and everything is fine on the outside when I'm falling to pieces within? I'm fed up with this charade. I have been living. Honestly, I'm not sure how much more of this I can bear. The decision to take my own life wasn't an easy one to make. For a long while, I actively dismissed such horrible notions from my head and heart. With every passing day, the notion grew stronger. Ultimately, those voices in the back of my mind grew louder and more persistent. I have settled on the conclusion that I'm fighting an uphill battle with no chance of reprieve. My resolve is all but gone at this point, as is my will to live. What once used to fill me with shame and guilt has now become appealing. If it will mean an end to my silent torture, death sounds all the more welcoming. My mind has been made up for a few weeks. Now it is only a matter of building up my courage to end it all. What is the point of living if nothing is ever going to get better? Numerous times I have attempted to reach out to a family member or a friend. Know what their typical response seems to be? They're always the same. Why can't you just be happy? Or are you sure you're not just having a bad day? Maybe things will improve tomorrow. Cheer up and smile, will you? Oh, and of course my all-time favorite is, "It's been a year, can't you just get over it?" Those words puncture my soul like a dagger to the heart. Eventually, I stopped attempting to reach out altogether. What was the use? It had become increasingly evident that no one cared enough to listen or ask what was weighing on me. My suffering won't be an issue much longer for myself, let alone my friends and family. The resolution is made up. Today will be my last day alive. The plot to end it all is already in motion. There is no turning back now. Not that anyone would even dare help, even if they knew. Flip into one of the last pages of my notebook. I spend the next 15 to 20 minutes penning out the note I'll leave for my loved ones to find. It is my intention to leave my diary and the envelope enclosed with the note I've written on my desk. By the time anyone cares enough to skim over the contents, with luck, the deed will have been completed. Hearing my mother shout upstairs to me that breakfast is almost ready, I scribble out the last of the note before signing my name. Making my way downstairs, I kiss my mom and each of my siblings before giving my father one last hug. Sitting down to a hearty meal of bacon and eggs, my gaze wanders from one loved one to the next before falling on my half-eaten plate. The notion I'll never see any of them again proves heavy on my heart. Stubbornly, I push those emotions aside. There is no backing out. My plot is already set in motion. There will be no turning back or talking myself out of the deed this time. All right, I'm going to stop there because I want to save some more for another time. But I can honestly say that at one point, I did feel that kind of hopelessness. And it wasn't when I was home in Jersey. It was when I was in Tennessee. I was living in a Motel 6. I was working 120 hours every 2 weeks. I was alone. My family and friends were all in New Jersey. I'm ashamed to admit that at one point I lost my will to live. And I remember the day I had my second mental break. I was sleeping before I had to go to work, and I heard this family arguing in the parking lot below me. So I woke up and I yelled down to them. I said, "Hey, I don't know what you guys are fighting about, but you guys need to apologize because you're family." And they just looked at me and, kind of agreed and said thank you and went on their way. And I, of course, went back to sleep for a little bit. And I was fine when I went into work. And then the next minute, I apparently was hugging my customers, telling them that I love them, and all kinds of other stuff. And I don't remember any of it at all. I don't remember anything from this mental break. But what I do remember didn't happen to me at that time. It happened months later when I had a panic attack. Every vision that I had from my second mental break was spoken to me when I was having a panic attack at my grief share meeting. And I told the lady, and she was like, "Well, that's impossible because we only met like a few weeks ago." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I think it's my body putting the words that my mind had together. I don't know how to explain it, but it happened." And it's not fun when you have a mental break because you have no control over yourself. At one point during one of my mental breaks, my mom said that she saw me in my bedroom flipping off the ceiling. And the only explanation that I have for that is me and my grandmother, which was her mom, we used to greet each other by flipping each other off. So I can only guess that I must have been having a conversation with my grandmother, and we were joking with each other and flipping one another off. I don't know. What I do know is that the mind is really powerful. And it can be scary. So if you've ever had a mental break, you'll know what I went through. I don't wish it upon anyone. And I'm glad that someone's listening, because all I want to do is help one person save their life. Have one person write me and say, "Hey, you know what? I was thinking about taking my life, but you changed my mind." That's it. That's all I want. That's why I wrote my book. I didn't do it for the money. I did it to help people. You know? All right. God bless, guys.